Katt Williams was always too real for the industry, bro. And he ended up being right about everything. Do you remember that interview that he had with Shannon Sharpe? We're gonna go ahead and check out this video saying Katt Williams tried to warn you. I wonder what he's warning us about, so make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Let's go.
Katt Williams risked his career to warn everyone about Hollywood for years.
Hello.
He was way ahead of his time, making comments like this.
All of these,
man, I'm not gonna lie. This interview right here, before we even hear what he gotta say, it aged like fine wine. Let's go.
Is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. All lies will be exposed because in 30 years, I've done nothing but collect information, knowledge, and your secrets.
He talked too much sense about a system where the truth
Bro, you know what I'm thinking of when he's saying this? I'm thinking of Diddy. I'm thinking of the Epstein files. I'm thinking of, it's a lot of things that have been exposed, bro. A lot of people who have been exposed. Even the little, you know, Kevin Hart roast. It's kind of like an eye-opening thing, bro. This, especially 2026, it's been nothing but truth bombs. You cannot lie.
Never fully hidden, but only buried beneath money, power, and fear.
It's a cabal. It's a
Hello.
consortium. They rock with who they rock with, and they don't with who they don't.
Yep.
He also avoided being swallowed up by the industry like so many others very close to him.
Oh my God, look at that.
He also avoided being swallowed up by the industry like so many others.
Damn, that's the white Diddy.
Very close
Chris Rock.
to him.
Diddy?
I've
What's
had
up
to
with Chris
turn down
Rock?
$50 million 4 times. Because P. Diddy be wanting the body. And you gotta tell
Tell
him
him
no.
no.
He didn't predict the future. He was just far more perceptive than they gave him credit for. He reminded everyone that the rug of complicity doesn't stay safe and secure forever. And that's why the mainstream media made him out to be crazy, unhinged, a loose cannon not to be trusted.
See, that's what they do. They try to, whenever you start talking that real talk, whenever you start making sense, they try to make it sound like you're crazy so they can try to discredit you. Insane.
Faison said that...
Didn't they do the same thing to Dave Chappelle? Like, the media was so on his ass he had to go to Africa. Man, that's crazy. I f with Dave Chappelle too, but I feel like nowadays he be trying too hard with the whole like going at cancel culture thing. So it kind of like waters down his message, but yeah, man, it's kind of crazy times that we live in.
Netflix special is easy. I have 12 specials. Guess how many Faison got?
And then I'm looking at this chain, right? I don't know what that symbolizes, but I'm pretty sure there's a reason why he chose to wear this huge chain. He's not wearing it to flex. I think he's wearing it to send a message.
0.
Let me go back.
Is easy. I have...
Not to be trusted.
Faison said that getting a Netflix special is easy. I have 12 specials. Guess how many Faison got? 0. Anybody that ever told you differently was a fat Faison liar. Shaq and Russell Simmons should get out of comedy and stay in their lane. Shaq's all get out of here.
Oh, he don't give a bro. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
That ever told you differently was a fat Faison liar. Shaq and Russell
Hey, you notice
Simmons.
like a lot of people who are like getting into comedy, they just straight swagger jack his voice too. Like a lot of people who try to be funny, man, they speak with that nasally voice. Like you're not funny because you swagger jacked his voice, bro.
Get out of comedy and stay in their lane. Shaq's all-star, get out of here, you bum.
Like other comedians who tread the line between serious accusations and jokes,
Oh,
he was
Ricky
always
Gervais?
great at using plausible deniability to his advantage.
hello.
If people got uncomfortable, it was great at using plausible deniability
Hold
to
on,
his
I need to see what this plausible deniability, the ability to say in a way that seems possibly true that you did not know about something or were not responsible for something. So this is so he doesn't get like a gag order, he doesn't get sued or anything?
advantage. If people got uncomfortable, it was all still just a joke.
They canceled me for talking about Harvey Weinstein before the thing came out, but he offered to suck my in front of all my people at my agency. What am I supposed to do?
But as the patterns he joked about came into full view, you couldn't just help but notice how he grew.
Yeah, Weinstein is a bro. I'm not gonna lie. And then Oprah was like defending him. It's so many of these weird people, bro, in Hollywood. Weird, bro. That's why I don't have it. There's so many, especially like content creators. I see like up and coming content creators that are just sprinting to LA. Like don't even got their together, thinking like you're gonna get a meal ticket. But it's like, yeah, you're basing that observation off of what you see from the outside. you don't know what's going on behind the scenes. You feel me? I don't know, bro. I feel like the best thing that you could do in entertainment, sorry, I'm rubbing my eyes, is really just be self-sustaining. And I think the internet kind of was like the equalizer. Like, you can entertain people without needing to be anywhere. You don't need to be in the mix of anything. People just got to resonate with you, bro. And that's kind of my mission and my goal, especially at this chapter of my life. I don't need nobody. Bro. You know?
Yes, sir.
I came in this business saying I was going to expose. When I talked about Michael Jackson, when I talked about R. Kelly, they canceled me for these things because why would you talk about another black dude?
And then even quieter.
I'm
Oh, you going through it.
I'm honored to get to say the things that I say when I'm saying them. And because you know that I operate from a positive first standpoint in all things.
Until you start to wonder, had he said everything he needed to, or were his warnings silenced?
I
Because
mean, if you've been butting heads with these people for 30 years, I don't think they can silence you, bro. Oh, no. But then again, maybe you just get tired. Maybe you're just tired of being tired. I don't know. When I seen that clip, bro, it's like inspirational to see somebody who's willing to be transparent. Like, we really live in a world, bro, where people want you to play a specific role. They want you to be a specific person that you're not. And it's like just being real, being authentic, staying true to yourself no matter what. It's like a blessing, bro. It really
time he
is.
started breaking all that ground on the podcast
This hurt my
circuit,
eyes.
he'd come to take his role as Hollywood's exposer seriously. But it wasn't always this way, and before, he'd built his career playing turbulent, loud, unpredictable characters.
Hello.
To most people, he was just Money Mike, the loud, short character from the stoner comedy classic Friday After Next. Or, as he's more known now, he was the comedian constantly crashing out online. Throughout it all, Katt's career was far from immaculate. He was getting arrested, fighting people, and going viral. But it definitely helped with
Didn't he get his ass beat by a kid? I remember there was like a kid who beat him up.
authenticity that he came from a genuinely humble background,
Hello.
where he had to climb the ladder rather than get lifted up by his parents. He actually left home at 13 and moved to Florida by himself, and was then
How?
homeless in Miami for years before catching his break on the comedy club circuit.
That's literally crazy, bro. How do you even operate at 13 being homeless? How do you even exist? That's insane.
This is a rags to riches career arc that Hollywood pretends to love. But like so many others who follow it, such as Mel Gibson, Shane Gillis, Shia LaBeouf, the support system dries up much quicker than it does for those deeply embedded into the status quo. For years, people continued to ignore his serious side, because at first he was easy to dismiss as an unhinged comedian from a troubled background, and second, because jokes are still the safest place to hide the truth. And Katt understood.
I mean, jokes have always been that way. The jester is the one that can criticize the king and not get in trouble. They were the ones that were talking about, you know, the truth and pushing the narratives and stuff. The jester had the most power. He had the most say. They thought you were a joke. You over here making a fool of yourself, or, you know, just joking around. Nobody would take you serious, but you talking about the you influencing the people, and you know what I mean? It's like the jester is really a lot more important than people think.
This better than most. It's why his warnings have lasted so many years. And we can see the turning point here with the now infamous Club Shay episodes that went hugely viral, combining the right talking points with timing that really caught people's imaginations. Katt sat across from Shannon Sharp and openly talked about celebrity manipulation, hidden industry behavior, and the people
That's
protected
literally
behind
crazy
the
that he did that.
scenes.
They pay you to not talk about things they don't want you to talk about. They tell you that themselves.
Shannon pushed back, and the tone
Yeah.
seemed to move to a darker
Hush
register.
money. Yeah.
Are you not afraid about being blackballed again? These are some power people.
You can't blackball somebody that's self-sufficient. Or let me tell you something. I don't know if you guys seen the episode. I don't know if you've seen the episode of Black Mirror. There's an episode of Black Mirror. I recommend that you watch it, right? Where they're constantly in front of screens. The dude who was like the main character of the episode was in Get Out. And so basically his brother ends up passing away because you have to, you know, you got to ride the bike, and you ride a bike and you look at the screen and you get money. So his brother passes away and gives him like millions of coins. And he pretty much like falls in love with this girl that he's like, you know, pedaling next to and shit. And he ends up like spending the majority of his brother's fortune on trying to get this girl on this reality show, like on some American Idol shit. And, you know, she tries out, and they tell her like, oh, we don't really want you as a singer, but we want you as a porn star. And she signs the deal and disappears. So he comes up with a whole plan, grinds to get an audition for himself. So makes the money to put himself in that position. And then he pulls up with like a glass knife and holds it to like the throat of somebody or his throat or something. And he starts criticizing, I forgot how it went, but he starts criticizing the system and he starts trying to expose everything and on the TV. And they loved it. They saw how crazy the response was that they gave him his own show to constantly criticize and expose the system. You exposing the system and pointing fun at the system only benefits the system if there's no action being taken, because all of the outrage is being taken out in that moment. There's no galvanizing, there's no action. It's just everybody releasing their emotions. And what do? You go straight back to work. You go do this, you go do that. They love it. They can profit off of it. So obviously, if you make money, right, on some Katt Williams where you're having all these Netflix specials and people with you and they love you and it's, you know, it's really like an authenticity angle. It makes you more marketable. So that why would they blackball unless he really says something that could up everything? You know what I mean?
What do you mean again? These people are not powerful. Satan can't create anything.
Hello.
That includes blessings for his people.
When Shannon says blackballed, he means being discreetly shut out of the industry. It comes from the old voting practice where members would drop a black ball into a box to secretly reject someone from a club. This is the moment when the two men sound philosophically opposed. Shannon is speaking in the language of Hollywood survival by warning about crossing the wrong people, while Katt is speaking like someone
hold up. I didn't even see it like that. Whoa. Like Shannon is kind of telling him like, yo, like, shouldn't you be playing the game? Because he I don't know if he's playing the game, but he could be playing the game. You know what I mean?
has already accepted the consequences a very long time ago. He even tells Shannon,
You having an unnatural allegiance to losers is not like you.
it feels less like a host interviewing a guest and more like Katt deciding how much truth is allowed to be heard. Katt later ended up warning Shannon,
Not because I didn't like white women. I think white women are as great as any other women. But I'm not gonna act like I'm not scared of them. I have a reason to be scared.
Months later, Shannon was then sued by Gabriela Zuniga, an OnlyFans model who'd been 19 when they met at a Los Angeles gym in 2023. The lawsuit filed in April 2025 under the name Jane Doe, accusing Sharp of assault, battery, and emotional distress, claiming the relationship had turned abusive towards the end of 2024. She sued
That girl ran up, millions.
for $50 million.
Clicked up with Tony Busby. He ran in there and cleaned house. They took all his money, boy. What? I hope her and the ass was worth it, bro. You lost 50. That was a $50 million booty hole that you were fucking. Oh my God.
Sharp denied everything, called it a shakedown, and publicly released text messages proving
I think they had a settlement.
Consensual. He urged her
Look at this. I want to put my tongue in your beep and then marry you. Crazy, bro.
to release an unedited video of their encounters. The case was then settled confidentially in July 2025, with no admission of guilt from either side. So people had
Bro, she looks like a mid version of a Bella Danger. Like, you could have hit up a Bella and went crazy. Like, this is why you can't. Oh man,
visiting the podcast,
I'm not even gonna get
now
into
seeing
it.
him as someone who was far more perceptive of the people around him than he let on. That's the thing you notice about Katt. His inner monologue is clearly engaged when he's doing these podcasts, and later on he casually says one name that caught people completely off guard: Chris Tucker.
And
Wasn't Chris Tucker mentioned on the Epstein flight log allegedly, or like the Epstein files?
Chris Tucker that we got now is Epstein Island.
Yup.
Chris Tucker.
Yup.
Shannon laughs, Katt laughs harder, then moves on almost immediately. But again, it later came to light he wasn't just sticking names into the melting pot for no reason. Because 2 years later, previously sealed Epstein documents would become public, and buried inside them was Chris Tucker's name. The exchanges come from Leslie Groff.
Oh my God, bro.
And Barry
Chris Tucker called to say he would be in New York this Monday and wondered if you could do dinner. Come on,
inside
bro.
them was Chris Tucker's name. The exchanges come from Leslie Groff, Epstein's executive assistant for nearly 20 years.
Man, and that's how you do. That's how you run an operation. You get the women to facilitate it, bro.
Is most notorious for allegedly managing Epstein's massage schedule.
Come on now.
In one email, Groff writes to Epstein, Chris Tucker called to say he will be in New York this Monday and wondered if you could do dinner. Then another to a redacted name. Chris Tucker will be stopping by to see J.E. sometime before his show tonight. No exact time was given. Although it should be noted that Chris Tucker has publicly stated his involvement with Epstein stemmed from a humanitarian trip to Africa focused on AIDS awareness alongside former US President Bill Clinton and actor Kevin Spacey, which all happened in 2002.
Weren't they both on the house? What are we talking about?
Still, the emails mentioned were sent from 2013, meaning there might have been possible involvement with Epstein 11 years after the humanitarian trip, which only fueled more online speculation because Chris Tucker is only one alleged name in a growing list of celebrities suddenly being looked at.
Bro, what the fuck is Stephen Hawking doing on that island, bro? Can you suck my... Like, dude, that doesn't even make sense. Why was he there?
Differently. But long before viral interview clips, Katt was openly criticizing something much broader, the normalization of certain kinds of abuse in comedy itself.
The problem with Friday After Next is we're trying to make a classic comedy. And this comedy involves and is never funny, no matter who it happens to or what the circumstances are. If you would allow me to allow us to do this movie without a black man getting in it, I promise you that it will be twice as funny as it would be with him getting.
The more Katt stands up for his morals, the more Hollywood starts sounding less like a glamorous entertainment industry and more like the rotting institution it is today. Almost a year after all of this aired, federal agents would raid Diddy's homes, which then blew up some of these clips even more. And this also added credit to some of his...
Diddy be out in the next 2 years. She might be on good behavior. You never know, bro. Why you thinking none of the people in Hollywood have been criticizing Diddy for real? Because they know he's gonna be out. And if he allegedly try to blow up Kid Cudi's car, what you think he's gonna do to them, bro?
The jokes, leaving many to wonder whether these were really conspiracies,
humiliation ritual,
or just classified scandals the public wasn't supposed to know about. Just like his dress conspiracy.
No, that's not his. Whoa, that is not his conspiracy. That is a humiliation ritual that people have been talking about for a long time. You got to get in that dress. There's certain rituals you got to do. You got to get in that dress. And we see it all the time. We see it. Stop it. Pattern recognition. It's not his. It's not his.
First dress. When he had to go on his hiatus, he tell me, Katt, when I come back, I need you. You my young partner. You my brother in comedy. When I come back, just promise me that my next movie, it'll be me and you. We gonna do it together. We gonna do some buddy cops. I said, Martin, you got my mother word. Go do what you gotta do. When you come back, I'm in your movie. Don't trip. I don't need to see the script or nothing. You know, we get in that office and this fool pull out Big Mama's house too. You don't care how people feel about the ritual. Oh, these guys are wearing dresses. Show me one person that ever wore a dress in Hollywood unsuccessfully. That's how you understand what a ritual is.
The idea is that powerful figures in the upper echelons of Hollywood pressure male comedians and actors into wearing dresses publicly as a form of humiliation, control, and submission.
Kevin told you he wasn't gonna wear no dress until they offered him the dress, and then he put it on. And what did he say after he wore it? I made my own decision. Duh.
And whether people believe the theory or not, there's quite a lot of circumstantial evidence to at least make it sound plausible. And it doesn't seem nearly as out there now as it did even a couple of years back, but it still speaks to...
Man, you got him looking zesty as hell, bro.
Another side of Katt.
Money talks! Come on, bro.
Because he has been smeared as someone who isn't easy to believe, and he hasn't always helped his own case. He once claimed he passed a Marine boot camp as a teenager, but then the Marines told CBS News they had no record of him. He said he was reading fluently at 3 and then got accepted to college at 7. And he also came out with this.
Brother, these are little white lies. Nobody sat there and believed it, bro. How old was he when he was saying this, bro? You did not get into college when you were 7 years old. Come on.
So there was a crossroads where we were both invited to an Illuminati thing, and it had to be one or the other of us, and decisions had to be made. One of us had to cut off all their hair and couldn't do the sideburn thing no more with the points. And the next person they said was going to get $200 million because they were going to pay him $10 million a movie to do 20 movies. One of those persons turned out to be Ludacris, and the other person turned out to be Katt Williams.
Ludacris responded to the claim saying it was a joke, including with his freestyle he recorded in his studio.
Katt Williams ever really offered you a role in Fast and Furious?
To answer your question, I wouldn't be the right person to ask that question. I have no idea if he was offered a role in the Fast or not. But he's a comedian, you know, he tells jokes, so it is what it is.
Nah, that's a good way to say it. That's a good way to shake it off, you know what I mean? If it's any heat, it's just a joke. Yeah, he's just a comedian. But you know, behind the scenes, when he's not in front of the camera, he's probably bricks and he's probably mad as hell, bro.
I don't know whether Katt's rant had just gone too
Come
far
on,
into
bro.
silly territory or whether he was embellishing at least a grain of truth. Besides that, between 2006 and 2018, Katt had racked up over 20 arrests and was probably lucky to get away with some of them without graver consequences. He also had a mental breakdown after getting booed off stage at a gig, then missing an appearance on Conan, and eventually ending up in a facility for 2 weeks, which he would very openly joke.
I mean, bro, they probably tried to send him to Zombieland. You seen Harvey Pasternak, that message he sent to Kanye. He said either we talk civilly or you playing with the kids is not the same. Come on.
About in his stand-up.
Me, I didn't even know they was allowed to do. I knew they could take a nigga to jail. I thought that was it. These put me in a real mental institution with real crazy people. I tell jokes for a living. These got me handcuffed to a dude scraping demons out his face.
But despite it all, he's since remained mostly...
Man, that's real trauma. I'm not gonna lie. You know, like in the moment though, he's probably like, what the fuck is going on here? Like he's probably bricks. Hell yeah, bro. I'm telling you.
Cool and collected, hitting back when someone tries to undermine his credibility.
It's cause, bro, they try to kick you when you're down. You gotta let them know, like, I'm not one of them ones that you could push around, bro. You gotta learn to, even in the face of adversity, even if you scared on the inside, you can't let people know that you scared, bro. Because when they know that you scared, then they know that they got you, bro.
To say he was a drinker.
I don't know, Katt. We might not let you drink anymore the way I mean, we ain't even got.
I'm not fueled by alcohol. I've had a sip.
It's a small moment, but Katt immediately clarifies he's sober, coherent, fully aware of what he's saying. And by now, he surely knows that he isn't the only one who's paid a price for talking. And he knows he needs to
if you're just taking a small shot, how does that make you belligerently drunk at all? Come on now. If he was on some Adrian Broner, yeah, it'd be different. Drinking that shit like it's water. But a little sip? Come on, bro.
Himself for getting this far. Courtney Love made one joke about Weinstein in 2005, similar to the one Katt made about Diddy, and was effectively frozen out. Rose McGowan helped expose his decades of abuse, and Hollywood treated her like the problem. Brendan Fraser alleged he was groped by a powerful industry figure and then watched his career evaporate. Mel Gibson spent years hinting at what he'd seen in the industry, and the moment his personal life gave Hollywood the ammunition, they exiled him for a decade while people who'd done objectively worse kept on working. So yes, if you warn about the industry, the consequences are very real.
That's probably why people don't speak on it.
You can see how Katt started to double down on some of his claims while swerving others. One of those moments was with Theo Von, where he doubled down on the dress theory, but something about the delivery was different.
Ritual is something that you do over and over and over again a certain way. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. If part of the ritual is wearing a dress, then we should be able to look through entertainment and see all of these people
pattern recognition
made to wear a dress. That's what a ritual is. You know what I mean? Like, whether they're white or black, that doesn't matter. There's not other jobs where this is a requirement.
Same argument, but notice how measured it sounds compared to the club Shay
No,
Shay.
brother. That's because he's on a white. He's talking to white people. Like when you're on Club Shay Shay, that's a completely different demographic. You feel me? You be able to talk, move a little bit different. This is called code switching. You get around Theo Von, you're dealing with right wing adjacent white people. You got to come up on there, be a little bit more eloquent with it. You have to change your tonality and your vocabulary a little bit, so that You get what I'm saying?
No names, no jokes, just the idea laid out carefully. Though it has to be said, he's smoking a big joint and does look pretty high, which might have something to do with it. He also claims that certain celebrities advanced faster because they were willing to play along in ways he refused to.
Yeah.
Like Kevin Hart, a comedian Katt has spent decades openly criticizing. Because every time he rejected something, Kevin Hart took it, and then Katt's public life seemed to collapse immediately after. Some point to moments like in 2008 when Katt allegedly lost his role in Fool's Gold after being arrested for bringing a gun in his suitcase he didn't claim to have. Then that very role eventually went to Kevin Hart instead. This very public feud cranked up a notch when Katt openly called Hart a puppet during a stand-up show. The following day, Katt...
I mean, bro, I fuck with Kevin Hart, but I'm gonna show you some shit. One thing about the Nizzler, I pull receipts. Y'all want to see some receipts? She's asking him a very simple question. It's a joke. Look how he responds.
Would you rather have a gay son or a thought daughter?
I would rather have 2 healthy kids. Like, it doesn't matter to me.
Look at the way she's looking at him. Clearly, this shit is a meme. It's a joke. I'd rather have 2 healthy kids.
2 healthy children. And the fact that you have to, like, put them in those categories says a lot about who you are.
Oh, no, don't you dare.
I'm just telling you, I think the real problem is in the thinker, not the answerer. The thinker. Maybe you should just ponder on that for a second.
Which do you give less of a about gay rights or women's rights?
Well, first and foremost, rights are rights. You should care about them all. Everybody has a voice, and everybody deserves to be heard.
See, that don't feel like a script. Like, yeah, you giving an answer, but it's like almost a little too like, come on, bro. Like, if you a comedian, like, you supposed to be leaning into something. Like,
what I want to do is be a part of the change that the world desperately deserves, and hopefully get us to a point where we're all on the
like
same.
he's not even saying it with like any type of emotion or any type of energy, as if he literally like means it in any capacity, bro. That's what happens when you get to that specific point, bro. Look at The Rock. Look at all these people. You're a figurehead. You're a brand. You're no longer a human being. You know what I mean?
Turned himself in on a bench warrant, but was hit with another unrelated charge while in custody.
That's why people see Katt Williams and it's like, oh, you're a breath of fresh air. Like, you're not a bot. Like, you're not moving off of brand deals and cancellation. And no, you saying you a straight shooter, bro. And we need more people like that in this world. Like, I know times are tough, but I'm telling you, life is better when you can get really far being strategic. I'm telling you, it's better to not have a rap sheet. But if you keep it real, the respect that you carry is different, bro.
He believed it was all orchestrated, but maybe someone wanted to put him in his place. They've now just buried the hatchet when Katt showed up as a surprise roaster at Netflix roast of Kevin.
He looked like the fucking Undertaker. He looked like he's about to put him in a coffin.
Hart a couple of weeks ago, where he delivered his jokes and the two hugged it out on stage. Hart later said they'd had a private conversation months earlier and agreed it was time to move on. And so these high-profile moments back in the mainstream...
I mean, he probably hit him up like, Katt, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. You know I didn't really want to do any of this. It's just my family is bigger than me. We came from nothing. You know what I mean? And he probably told him the real. I don't know though.
Seemed timed.
And then or he's like, you know, they're like, we gotta be together. They're trying to pit us together.
General changes in Katt's antagonistic behavior, which feels more obvious when you look deeper at that interview with Theo Von. Take this moment when Theo pushed into darker territory and Katt goes pretty edgy.
You know, I've heard you kind of allude to the fact that there's like kind of darker forces that kind of like, that present opportunities to people in trade-off, right? In trade for their own, maybe their own peace, maybe their own reality, maybe a sacrifice of their actual direction that they want. Do you think that really happens, that kind of stuff?
I think everything is controlled and regulated.
This at a point when Theo himself is worried about getting heat from the industry. Katt then goes on to say,
we don't protect the whistleblower, right?
Yeah.
We don't honor the scout that would tell us who it is. Matter of fact, when they get him, we're gonna go, I could have told you that was gonna happen.
If nothing else, he's
Treason.
become pretty resigned to the facts behind what he's saying, which echoes how desensitized everyone feels about things like this.
Yeah.
Like to compromise themselves for entertainment.
Again, the things that we are discussing exist in each of the fields.
Right, any field.
Right. Not entertainment exclusively. Politics, religion, science,
Hello.
everywhere, right? Some of this is human nature, right? Because we listen and we don't judge.
I knew he was going to say something like
Man,
that.
we only saw a few months ago.
I was as shocked as anybody about how powerful Harvey Weinstein was. They canceled me for talking about Harvey Weinstein before the thing came out, but he offered to suck my in front of all my people at my agency.
Do you think, some people think that guys like Martin Luther King were compromised by the CIA. Do you ever believe stuff like that?
For 50 years, y'all been wondering, what the happened to JFK?
They had a big bust with Puff Daddy where he got arrested. And then they've had like accusations and stuff. He hasn't gone on trial, I don't think, yet.
It's how all cases are handled. Just to protect my integrity and that virgin hole I was telling you about. Because P. Diddy be wanting to party. And you gotta tell him no.
The clips, the comments all notice the same thing. He's been warned. You can tell by how cautious he's answering questions indirectly. He was paid a visit for sure. If anything happens to him, he wasn't suicidal. Because by now, people had comprehensively stopped asking, what if Katt Williams is crazy? And started asking, what if everything he said was true?
I mean, we live in a world that's pretty crazy. We live in a timeline that's pretty absurd. You know what I mean? The truth sounds crazy. Kanye said this. Hold on. The truth sounds crazy in a world filled with lies. Remember that. And it's true. Everything is bro. And as you come to grow up and as you come of age, you look around and you just scope the landscape. I just realized that, bro. Everything is job security is these jobs that we work, these roles, the financial system, the religions, the way that people live their life. Everything is bro. It's all everything is.
And here comes the reconciliation of his story and his next moves, which shows there's no theatre in how he publicly refuted Hollywood. Katt's latest tour, Heaven on Earth, kicked off in January 2025, off of the back of his Netflix special Woke.
Hey, he's in good shape,
which
though.
Then became the most watched comedy special on the platform.
Let's go.
The tour was extended due to demand, with multiple arena dates across the country.
Man.
This isn't a comedian limping through club dates after being blackballed. This is someone filling arenas like never before. It's just like what happened to Shane Gillis when they tried to cancel him. Common sense prevailed, and we got a feel-good Hollywood.
Yeah, because bro, listen. It don't matter how you try to phase somebody out. It don't matter what you do. You could try to replace them. It doesn't matter. Authenticity always wins. It will always win. Nobody respects the person that isn't afraid to say the truth. We respect the people that lay it out on the line, bro. The people that are willing to fight for what's right. Because if you stand for nothing, you'll fall for anything. That's why, bro. And he's genuinely funny as... Like, some of these comedians, like, I fuck with Kevin Hart, but old Kevin Hart is funnier than new Kevin Hart. You know what I mean? Let's be real.
Once. But this underlines the thing about Hollywood and the entertainment industry. People like Katt and Shane have to fight for opportunities, and there's going to be some level of personal pressure to progress when they get them. That might be why Katt told Sherry Shepherd he decided after the Shannon Sharpe interview to only speak publicly maybe 6 more times and let the interviews speak for themselves. That sounds like he's either made a personal career calculation or it all got too intense for him. Both are pretty human responses to the situation. And then there's his future plans, including the army base he just purchased to isolate himself from Hollywood. Decommissioned in 1999, Fort McClellan spans 90 acres in Alabama. It contains around 30 buildings and was purchased by Katt to make his own off-grid studio.
We can do this. I just needed to be able to have a home where great movies and entertainment product could be made without any of the shenanigans that are generally involved with Hollywood, that all it needs to do is be good. If it's good, we're gonna
And he
make
can definitely do that, bro. Like, you really don't need that much money to make a phenomenal product, bro. We see it with Obsession, $700,000 movie. You know, everything is independent anyways. He's connected with Netflix.
He told GQ that black entertainment needed more people building infrastructure,
Let's
not
go.
just performing inside someone else's. On Jimmy Fallon, he joked about the only condition was I'm not wearing dresses, and then invited Fallon to come film there.
Right, so Tyler Perry got a military base.
That's correct.
Made it into a movie studio and started making movies. Cat Williams.
Got a military base.
Bought a military base. Are you making movies?
I'm not wearing dresses.
The army base is a move that only makes sense if you take Katt's worldview seriously. You might get sick of the parties, the favors, the leverage, and the silent agreements that are all part of
Yeah, man. I mean, that's going to lead into a whole other thing that I want to say, but I'm not going to say it, man. Y'all know the vibes. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Love, love, love. I hope you have an amazing day, man. We out.